everyone, to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, home of this weekend's Pennzoil 400, my former home track. This track has a lot of meaning to me. I lived in Las Vegas for about 9 years, went to a lot of the races here, so super excited to not only watch this race this weekend, but participate in the Nascar Cup Series and see what we can make happen here. This track first joined the Cup Series in 1998. That race was won by Mark Martin on a completely different configuration. In 2006, this track was repaved, reconfigured with progressive banking from 14 degrees all the way from 23 degrees up to 26 degrees in the corners. The first race on this configuration was a Truck Series race in September of 2006. That race was won by Mike Skinner. Yours truly sat in the Petty Terrace and watched that race. 2007 was the first time the Cup Series ran on this configuration. That race won by Jimmy Johnson, another one that I attended. Since then, this track has remained unchanged. This configuration has not changed, and more importantly, has not been repaved. That means this surface is currently 18 years old as we head into this weekend's event. A lot of talk this weekend is going to be about tire wear. Very complicated, very consistent with how to manage and run across fuel runs and save tires. Conserve. You're going to see guys moving around a lot. You're going to see guys go to the bottom, to the top in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The lanes will vary as we go through the entire race. It's all about maximizing your momentum, keeping the speed up as long as possible as the tires start to fall off, and more importantly, figuring out how to get around this place and survive in the desert. Let's jump in the number 96 Camaro. We'll take a few laps around this track and I'll show you just what it takes to conquer the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. For this weekend's race in Las Vegas, because I have such a love affair with this racetrack and this city, we'll be running the special Wiehl in the Sky.com paint scheme, paying homage to my favorite track and my favorite city. Let's see if we can't put this thing in victory lane in the Nascar Cup Series. Off turn 4, coming to the start-finish line. This track, you're going to get as slow down as you can across the front straightaway and try not to tear the right front off. You got a lot of options when it comes to picking a lane. You can go all the way down to the bottom white line. You can ride the middle. You can go all the way up to the wall. It's all going to be about getting a good launch off of 2 and getting momentum down the backstretch and carrying as much speed as you can. You're going to hold off into 3 before you lift, get as far down the racetrack. Then I don't even have to lift the gas here in these first few laps. I can literally just hit the brake and just kind of manage my way around the corner by braking. You come all the way down here to the apron, cut the corner a little bit. That may save you a tenth or two if you're running it really hard, depending on who you're racing. This time we'll go up to the outside, and we'll just kind of ride the wall here. This is a preferred line as the race gets later in the day, as this entire 1 and 2 will be shaded, and there's a lot of momentum you can carry off of turn 2 on the outside down the backstretch. You'll see a lot of guys start moving up to the outside of 3 and 4 too, trying to make grip, trying to do the same thing to get a good launch down the front stretch and just power down this front straightaway to the start-finish line. Cars are going to start to get strung out here. It's not going to be like the last 2 weeks at the drafting tracks. You're going to have a lot more handling and a lot more grip and tire wear management. So that's what it looks like to drive around this Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's a fun track, but man, it gets challenging, especially if it gets hot and the track temperature gets up above 100 degrees. It gets very, very slick, very, very fast. So now's my favorite part of every weekend preview show. It's time to pick a winner for this weekend's Pennzoil 400. I don't think there's any question. Kyle Larson wins this race. I don't think there's even a debate. When it comes to mile-and-a-half racetracks, there is no better wheelman in the Cup Series. And even though 2023, he didn't have the stats for it, he was overwhelmingly in position to win the majority of these races. He won the last race here in Las Vegas in the fall. He would have won in the spring had it not been for a late caution. William Byron wound up taking that win. One driver I would say to watch, though, is Christopher Bell in that 20 car. He was so close to winning this race. Won the pole here last fall during the qualifying for the South Point 400. I expect him to be strong, but overall, Kyle Larson, easy pick. Put money on it. Kyle Larson wins the Pennzoil 400 this weekend. As always, don't forget, you can watch us race this number 96 car on the IWM Broadcast Network right here on YouTube. I'll put the link in the description to this video. We race every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Had a rough couple of weeks. Started really well at Atlanta and just shot myself in the foot as many times as I could. I'm looking for redemption at one of my favorite racetracks this weekend in Las Vegas. I'm trying to put this car in victory lane. Next week, we head to Phoenix for the abbreviated West Coast Swing. No Auto Club this year, just 2 tracks. So looking forward to that one. We'll review that race next Wednesday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy the race. Let's go get that W.